Hello folks, it's Charlie in Westeros here, and today I'm coming to you in order to share some fun Baratheon facts from Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire you just might not know about. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into this one. Starting with, number 1, the Baratheon Targaryen friendship. Although Robert Baratheon rebelled against the Mad King Aerys Targaryen, his father, Lord Stephen Baratheon, was actually close friends with both Aerys and Tywin Lannister when all three were young men, and remained good friends with the two until his untimely death in a shipwreck upon returning to Storm's End following an expedition to Volantis. It is said that Stephen's untimely death caused the king to become enraged, and he even believed Tywin was to blame. This event, in all likelihood, didn't help Aerys' descent into madness, and had Stephen survived, there's a strong possibility the events of Robert's rebellion would have been avoided entirely. In terms of the Baratheon-Targaryen friendship, however, it should be noted that these weren't the only lords from both houses to be so close. The first Baratheon lord, Orys, and Aegon the Conqueror of Westeros were also very good and close friends from a very young age, which brings me to my next point. Number 2. Literal Baratheon bastards. House Baratheon is the youngest of the great houses of Westeros, and in fact, the first Baratheon Lord of Storm's End, Orys, was not only a bastard and a good friend to Aegon the Conqueror, he may have in fact been the latter's illegitimate half-brother. After the Targaryens defeated the previous ruler of Storm's End, the Storm King Argilac Durrandon, the illegitimate Orys Baratheon became ruler of that territory and married the last Storm King's daughter, Argella. The child of this union led to at least one son, intriguingly named Davos. So, what might this mean for us? Well, Gendry just might have some hope of inheriting Storm's End, even if he is a bastard, considering the origins of the house's founding, and the name of Davos seems to be closely linked with the house itself. Number 3. Baratheon traits. Even though Robert seems to have been the only Baratheon in Game of Thrones prone to sudden and extreme mood swings, it was apparently a personality trait that many historical members of the family possessed. As a result, the Baratheons as a whole are known for their mercurial tempers. Of course, the Baratheons, similarly to the Targaryens, are also known for their particular physical features, namely that they tend to be tall and powerfully built, with black hair and blue eyes, and usually possess strong, square jawlines. However, the question remains as to whether these traits are a result of their patrilineal Baratheon lineage, or emerged from their matrilineal Durrandon line. This, once more, brings me to my next point. Number 4. The warlike ancestors of House Baratheon. Although the Durrandon kings are the ancestors of the Baratheons through Princess Argella, it appears that these predecessors were potentially even more temperamental and warlike than the Baratheons who followed them after the War of Conquest. Most Durrandon kings, in fact, have titles associated with acts of military victory and loss in their names, and one Storm King named Duran is even credited with slaying an infamous king of the giants, Lune the Last. Argella Durrandon, the last titular ruler of Storm's End, herself refused to surrender her realm to the Targaryen invaders, and even stated that they would resist and fight to the last man. Nevertheless, when her garrison betrayed her and delivered her to Orys, gagged, chained, and naked, he removed the chains with his own hands, wrapped his cloak around her, and gave her food and wine, speaking to her gently and telling her of her father's courage in death. Given Orys's tenderness in taming the last Stag Queen, it is highly likely the present Baratheon temperament originates from the Durrandon line, but of course that's just my speculation. What is unquestionable, however, is the way in which House Baratheon's founding mirrors the founding of the Durrandon line. Just as Orys won the love of Argella after conquering Storm's End, the first Storm King, Doran Godsgrief, won the love of Elenay, the daughter of the sea god and the goddess of the wind, and married her after he declared war on the aforementioned gods and apparently defeated them. Of equal relevance to this point is the fact that House Baratheon adopted both the sigil of the stag and the motto, "Ours is the Fury," from the Durandons, providing yet another hint that the Baratheon fury was in all likelihood inherited from their predecessors. Number 5. The many Targaryen marriages to House Baratheon. Whilst the likes of House Martell are known for some of their intermarrying with House Targaryen, they certainly are not the only ones. Among the Baratheons, Orys's grandson Robar married the Targaryen princess Alyssa Valerian, as her mother was a Targaryen and she herself was previously married to a Targaryen king, and their own daughter, Jocelyn, married Prince Aemon Targaryen. Of course, many of you are more than likely aware that Robert Baratheon's grandmother was a Targaryen princess, and indeed his grandfather, Ormond Baratheon, was married to the Princess Rhaelle Targaryen. What is most interesting of these matches is that, in spite of the influx of Targaryen blood in their line, the stereotypical Baratheon appearance remains constant in their lineage, which of course would in part be the prime reasoning for Ned Stark to question the parentage of Robert's own children with Cersei Lannister. Well, folks, these were just 5 fun facts about House Baratheon in Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire you just might not have known about. Of course, there were many other facts I overlooked and could have mentioned, so I am certainly not against making another Baratheon facts video later on. If there were any facts I omitted from this list, which would you like to see in a later one? As always, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to like it and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all next time.